Hi everyone. Today I'd like to do a review of two very popular Hermes bags at the moment. The first one is Kelly Danse, and the second one is the Mini 2424 bag. Kelly Danse is actually not a new design. It was, I think, originally released sometime in 2003 for a couple of years before they discontinued it, and then they brought it back again around 2019. 2424 was released sometime in 2018. I think they started with a larger size, which was around 29 centimeter, before they introduced a 21 centimeter mini version. And I thought it would be good to do a comparison between the both of them because you can see that they're quite similar. But of course, we all know that any Kelly bags, particularly the Kelly Danse, is arguably harder to get at the moment compared to all the other quarter bags like Birkin, Mini Kellys and Kelly and Constance even. But while you're waiting for this bag, you could consider this as an alternative, and I'll talk through why I like both for different reasons. Before I get into the comparison, I thought I should also share that I've got the black version but in a gold hardware, and my longtime followers would have noticed that I like all my bags black because I think it's very easy to dress no matter where you go. And in terms of hardware color, I tend to favor silver over gold because I think that a silver hardware bag will give you more of a cooler and chicer vibe, and a gold hardware bag will give you a very elegant and classy bag, classic vibe. And you could choose which one you prefer depending on your occasion. But for the purposes of comparing it, the reason why I wanted to show all three is because they're all different leather. For the black silver one, this is actually made in Swift calf skin, and you can see it's like quite soft and matte. And then this one in black gold hardware is actually in Jonathan leather, and I think it's pretty much the same as Swift, but perhaps the leather might be a little bit harder, but very marginally harder. And the Mini 2424, it's in a very similar Swift texture, but I think they call it the voluptuous leather. I'm not sure if I pronounce it right. The flap and the handle is actually made in Swift, so you can tell that it's slightly different from each other. But what I think the key differences are, Swift is a little bit more matte than voluptuous, and perhaps a little bit shinier, and Hermes kind of describe it as a more satin sort of leather. And in terms of the look between the both of them, you can tell that obviously the Mini 24 has a handle, which is a bonus because it's more convenient when you have a handle and also a strap. And then at the back, you can tell that they're designed for the strap to sit at the back for that look. But with the Kelly Danse, you don't get a back pocket. And for this bag, Mini 2424, you get a back pocket, which is really handy for you to put your phone when you're carrying your bag. And obviously the front here, you get the classic Kelly turn lock, but for the 2424, it's a slightly different turn lock with a bigger plate, just for the design. You'll find that the flap here for 2424 is very hard, and the flap here for Kelly Danse is really, really soft. It's a really, really good bag because it's meant to look a little bit more casual for that design. So let's take a look at the inside. You find that it's much easier to open, and like I said, softer. And then in here, it's pretty spacious, and it's got a back pocket, and get a tab here that you can remove if you want your bag to be a bit flatter, but if you want it to be stable with the base, then you can keep the cardboard in there. Now on the Mini 2424, I mentioned earlier that the flap is actually really hard, so it does make it a little bit harder for you to open the bag. Here you go, and yeah, so you can see it's a bit harder, and because there's a pretty thick like tab here as well, it makes the opening not as flexible as the Kelly Danse. And in here, I've put in my boli pouch. I always carry and insert or boli pouch to keep my interior clean, and they have a zipper compartment, back pocket, and a zipper, but the Kelly Danse won't have that. Because it's quite difficult to close the flap or the bag, I tend to carry it like that, where I tuck my flap in there. So you can pretty much carry it like that without having to worry about the difficulty of opening the bag. So it's still quite convenient in that way. I think the one thing that people like about these two bags is that it can be worn in multiple ways, but the two favorite way of carrying it for me is actually the double shoulder, which I'll show you in a moment, and then the other one is you can shorten the strap and then sling to make it easier for you. But the other two most popular way of carrying it is actually the backpack look, where you can conveniently carry it as a backpack, where you switch the position like that, and the other alternative is to wear it as a belt bag. I don't wear it as a belt bag because my body frame is a bit smaller, so it doesn't work quite well for me. But that is the I guess the benefit of having this bag. And the comparison between the side view, you can tell that the base is much smaller in Kelly Danse, so it's a little bit more refined, and this one will stick out a little bit when you carry it, but you can tell that they're quite marginal as well. And in terms of the price, because I bought them at 2 different years, and we know that Hermes would have a price increase every year, I think this bag is a little bit pricier than the Kelly Danse, and I think it's because they have more material, like the back pocket and thicker flap, and yeah, that may have resulted in a higher price. But they're both really good bags. Like if you like to go with the very classic iconic look, then Kelly Danse would be your best option. But if you like a variety and something a little bit more modern and different and more understated, then the 2424 would be a good alternative. I will quickly just show you how it looks on me when I shoulder it. Shouldering the 2424 bag, you see it looks really chic. And here's the Kelly Danse. You can see it's a little bit thinner, so it looks a bit less bulky. Alright, that's all from me in terms of comparing between Kelly Danse and Mini 2424. I hope you found it useful, and good luck deciding which bag you prefer. Bye!